William Shakespeare, the famous playwright, once asked, to be or not to be? Today, we're going to think about the question to capitalize or not to capitalize. There's a lot to remember when it comes to editing, and because there's so much to do, capitalization is one of the most obvious but often missed practices. In this lesson, you're going to learn about different types of proper nouns that always require a capital letter. So we'll talk about the difference between proper nouns and common nouns and learn the difference between the two. And we're going to learn some new words that need to be capitalized. So in this lesson, we'll be introducing some new capitalization rules. So proper nouns are the specific names of people, places, and things. Names like Mrs. Cherry Paul, places like New York, and things like a restaurant, McDonald's, are examples of proper nouns. Common nouns are nouns that do not need to be capitalized. So the word teacher, or the word state, or the word restaurant are all nouns, but they do not require a capital letter. We've learned already that people's names, like our characters, Ramona and Percy Jackson, and our favorite singer, like Taylor Swift, and President Obama, are examples of specific nouns that require capital letters. We've also learned that the first letter of every sentence we write, unless it's a poem, requires a capital letter. And we've learned that the pronoun I is a special pronoun. And for this pronoun, we're going to give it a capital letter. The pronouns she and he are not capitalized, but I always is. Here's some new information. You're always going to want to capitalize the names of states. States like New York, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. You're always going to want to give a capital letter to the names of cities. New York City, Stamford, and Philadelphia are examples. And you're always going to want to give a capital letter when you're writing the names of countries, such as the United States of America and Canada. For these proper nouns, we're always going to give them a capital letter. So now I'd like for you to take a look at your draft and to try identifying some words that require capitalization. So for example, have you written the name of a city where your character lives? If so, I'd like for you to write 2 dashes underneath the first letter to signify that it needs a capital letter. Go ahead and scan your draft to see if you have written any cities. You can pause this lesson if you need more time. All right, now let's look and see if you've written the names of any states that your characters might live in. Scan your draft to see if any states, such as New York or Connecticut, has been written. If so, please put 2 dashes underneath the first letter of that proper noun to show that it needs a capital letter. Remember, you can pause this lesson if you need more time. Finally, take a look at your draft and scan it to see if you've mentioned the name of a country. If you have, you're going to put 2 lines underneath the first letter of the word of that proper noun to show that it is an example of a proper noun that needs a capital letter. Okay, so now you have looked across your draft for places that need capitalization. You've learned some new words today that require capitalization, and you have drawn 2 lines underneath the first letter of each word so that you can go back and remember to write capital letters there. Also remember to scan your draft for the rules you've already learned, the names of people, the first letter of the first word of a sentence, and the pronoun I. I look forward to looking over your work with you soon during our writing conference. If you have any questions about capitalization that wasn't covered in this lesson, please write your questions down on your draft, maybe in the margins. And then when we meet, you can ask.